Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me clearly?
Right,
Yeah, I can hear you.
brilliant. Yay. Right, good. Emerson can hear us. Ricky's out doing the lights in our local town. Hello, warm welcome to the
It's
All
gonna be one of
Arsenal
those. It's gonna be one
Saturday
of those days
show.
with the internet.
Oh, somebody. Or is that on the... Oh, I don't know. I'll just keep talking. Whatever that sound is. Okay, anyway, hopefully we'll get some people to log in
Go
because, of course, it
and then
was
I'll go and keep
Don't
quiet.
Waste the Trip earlier, which was very entertaining. Like the new Saint and Greavesy, Gary and Mr. Tommy, bless them. Out of interest, Ricky, did you watch the England game last night?
No, because I was at a performance.
Oh, brilliant. To be honest with you, I thought, do I, don't I? And I'm going to be honest, the only reason I watched it was just to make sure that Saka and Rice still had legs at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I was really hoping neither of them would be brought on, but hey, it is what it is. Never mind. But yeah, they seem to have got away with it unscathed. England won. Whoop, whoop, next. Okay, right, Ricky, well, I've got you on, my lovely. Want to recap the Leicester game. And I think it's fair to say in the first half, it was awful.
Yeah, it was.
Because you were there, weren't you?
No, I wasn't there.
Oh, you
Not
wasn't there. Sorry, I couldn't remember.
I was there at the Bristol game.
Oh, right. Sorry, I stand corrected. That first half, I mean, I've got to sum it up. It was shite, basically. We're 2-0 down, and it was like, oh my God, what is going on? Second half, talk about a game of two halves. It was like, wow. Suddenly it was a goal fest. Oh, it was just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely, yeah. In fact, yeah, because I had to write this all down. So we started off with the case, then it was Ford, then it was Russo, then it was Pelova. Particularly pleased for Pelova because she's been playing so well for a fairly new player. Then we had Stina and finally Lena. And although I've sometimes down Lena a little bit, great that she's finally getting there. When she came on, she was playing well, so that was absolutely wonderful for me. Definitely, I tell you who else I thought was really good was our last signing, Cooney Cross. The play. The match up with her and Pelova, I thought was brilliant. I'm still trying to get Emerson on as we talk. Getting a few technical difficulties there, which is a shame. But yeah, I just felt, yeah, she deserved player of the match, Pelova. Yeah, second half, absolutely fantastic. And
Yeah.
Ryan jumps on, we'll talk more about that, but we'll just go on to basically the game coming up, which is tomorrow.
And,
You're not going. Are you going?
no. And
No.
nearly a Beth Mead goal.
Sorry?
And nearly a Beth Mead goal.
Okay.
Was.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'll tell you something. It's coming. You know it's coming. Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, it's going to happen. Yeah. Great to see her getting her form back. Absolutely brilliant. But just thinking of tomorrow, we've got Brighton away. I've had a look. They're 8th in the league. Technically, once again, Arsenal are going to be away, but I think it's doable. I think it's really doable. Yeah. Maybe another goal fest. And did you actually watch the Chelsea game today?
No.
Yeah, I did because it was on the beat, and I thought, oh, I'll have it on in the background. And by the second half, it was just like, oh god, yeah. So that was a bit depressing. But hey, it is what it is. But then it gives our Arsenal ladies a kick up the backside. So yeah, that's all cool. Yeah, hopefully, they'll have a good match tomorrow. I expect to win without doubt. And something I keep saying, Brighton Yeah, they're a team that I think are really going to turn up, actually. From what I can see at the moment with our girls, it takes a little while for them to crank up, doesn't it? And then
Yeah.
once they get going, so I'm going to allow that if it's not such a good first half, not the end of the world. So, yeah, hopefully, because we're currently second, we want to maintain that slot. Unfortunately, I am a realist. It pains me greatly, but the form, and especially with Hayes, it's her last season. Hang on, I'm just gonna. Oh, Emerson, are you with us now? Yeah, Emerson's getting a lot of
Yeah, I can hear
problems.
you loud and clear.
Oh, you can hear. Right, yeah, sorry. We'll just go back to the Leicester game. I mean, the first half was just abysmal, absolutely abysmal. And actually, it was too funny because we actually had a WhatsApp conflab, didn't we? Oh, Ryan's coming on. Yeah, hi Ryan. Yeah, we're just talking about the recapping the Leicester game, and obviously the first half, well, as I put it, shite next. But at half time, Ryan, it was too funny because myself and Emerson were actually talking, and I think like me and Emerson, we're pretty much like Jonas. That look on his face said it all. Now you wear your heart on your sleeve, don't you, Ryan? You
Yeah.
had every emotion. It was almost biblical, but it worked because of the language next. But we were actually quite concerned for you at this point. And the only words I could use was embarrassing. We thought we got to stick with it, which we did. But do you know what I reckon happened? Half time, I reckon Claire Wheatley went in there. I reckon she gave him a bollocking.
Give Kelly Smith do the work, ex-Schooner, let her do all the work. Because amazing how Kelly Smith's our attacking coach. Suddenly,
Oh yeah, Kelly Smith. I forgot her. Yeah, quite right. Yeah, Kelly Smith. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I forgot about her.
She's
Shame on me.
our striker coach. She's worked as a strikers,
Yeah,
whatever that
yeah,
means.
she had words.
And then suddenly,
Definitely.
second half, the strikers had the shooting boots on, be it goals or
Oh,
assists.
but it really was the game of two halves, wasn't it? It was just amazing.
As I say, I went from the lows of the first half and literal deflation. Can't believe what I'm watching, what I'm seeing. I've got fucking commercial fireworks flying over my house, and it's all going on. And I'm just like, what's going on? Every time I go to talk, I'm having to stop. People there's someone in the chat that was winding me up. I've gone back at him. And then it's just like a complete chaos first half. Summed up the actual match, and then second half it came along, and we're like, "Way!" What?
Oh, it was
It was
brilliant.
like,
It was like a gift
as soon as
from God.
Chloe got that first goal, again, I said it last week during the actual watch long. I've been so impressed with Chloe since she's come up.
Oh, amazing! Yeah,
every game she's played, she has been on it. Like she's showing her experience as a.
Well, that's interesting because that'll take me to Ulstead, the Swedish player, which actually I haven't been overly impressed with personally.
Oh,
maybe,
that one.
Yeah, not considering what a good World Cup she had. But yeah, when I went to the Emirates for the first match, and I mean, sadly we lost to Liverpool, and yeah, I watched that today with bloody Emma. Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah, to see LaCase come on there, I just thought, and I was obviously on the right side to watch her, and yeah, I thought she has got so much potential. So everything she's done since, really not surprised.
No, not at all. And I mean, for the unnamed Swedish player that you don't really like, she came on, and she could have scored more in the goal that she scored. She hit the post, hit the crossbar before.
Oh God, do you know what? I'm going to hold my hand up. I suppose to be fair,
for one game she turned up for us. For one game she turned up.
Well, right, yeah. Well, yeah. I'll
Ish.
let her off. Yeah, I'll let her off. Yeah, and I was pleased. Well, I'm pleased for anybody who gets a goal for Arsenal next. But yeah, that really, really was a game of two halves, and of course, going back to. And it's so annoying because it was Liverpool, and I was really pottering about, and my daughter begrudgingly had the TV on, and when she said, "Oh, Liverpool got one," I thought, "Okay," and then I realised it was an own goal, so I thought, right, yeah, and it was so annoying that we lost to them basically, but hey, it's what it is. So yeah, going back on to the WSL match tomorrow, Brighton away. Now Brighton are 8th in the league. Oh, and it's on Sky, by the way, folks. Anybody's listening in. What do we reckon there? I think I keep predicting every single time these lesser teams they're gonna become world class. You just know it, or they think they will be, and their goalkeeper's suddenly going to become something extra special. All right, our shots on target and all that does might not be the best, but you just know they've got a very average goalkeeper who will suddenly do a really half decent save. You know, you just know it's going to happen.
Yeah. Sorry, gone. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Ricky.
Who do you think is going to be goal?
What, for Arsenal?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Well, this is another big. It's got such a big squad now. Touchwood, he has got a big squad. I mean, the other one I'm curious on, Codina, the Spanish player. I sort of see her around, but I don't know why she's not playing.
I think because she was a late one coming in, weren't she? So they were just easing her in, getting her used to the culture. Obviously, coming from Spain, and the way that league is, easing her in, sort of not throwing her under the bus. Because I remember saying before the international break that the first few games of the WSL this season, it was like Jonas didn't know what centre back partnership to go with. It would be the experience of both Jen and Lotta, or Lotta and Amanda, or Lotta and Condinia, or Jen and Amanda, or Jen and X. It's just, so I remember saying he needs to pick a partnership and stick with it. And since he must be listening to us, because since then he's stuck with the Lotta and Amanda partnership, and it's sort of just until Leah gets back. We needed something solid, a solid foundation.
I get that.
Something there in the spine, just to be a regular thing until we get Leah back, probably fully fit wise, and then go from there. Because we know one of the two will be dropped for Leah when once Leah's fully fit and back playing.
Well, of course, but then that's, I mean, we're seeing it already with all right, Beth. I mean, did she play the 60 minutes? It was about 60, wasn't it?
With the injury time, it added up to that in the end.
Yeah. So she had, she had about an hour's worth and all. But for Leah, that's it. She's got to be eased back in, hasn't she? You know, it's. I mean, what did we say? Am I pushing it too soon for January? She'd come back.
I think we'll probably see her the game, like the penultimate game, or the game before the winter break.
Right.
But like a sub role, sort of cameo, like, oh, she's back now, like we've done with Beth and Viv, sort of thing.
Fair enough.
In terms of actually seeing her regularly, will be probably in the new year after the winter break.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of games we've got between now and then.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And so basically, try and keep a consistent centre-back partnership, and hopefully it works fairly well, and particularly on the 10th of December, because that is going to be a tough match. Whoa, that's going to be a tough match.
And big numbers as well for that game already in terms of ticket sales. 45,000 tickets sold for that game in the cost of living crisis in December.
That's very good, but I think also, and I've spoke with Steve about this before, because we can get to the Emirates now to watch the women's games, but also I know they have a very loyal support, but to a degree, I'm a fair weather fan in that sense. I don't do Meadow Park, mainly because of work, whatever. And I think more so, especially when now that Arsenal have had X amount of wins, it will inspire people who wouldn't necessarily go to think, yeah, this is going to be a big day out. There's a chance. I know it's against Chelsea. Our record with Chelsea is, other than the Continental Tires Cupicles, is
It's a 50-50 split for that game. Yeah, it's up in the air.
very up in the air, and more up in
especially-
the air now because of
Yeah.
where we are as
Well,
in players.
I think it's more up in the air because of now the Emma Hayes news, in terms of since that she's told them players before that video game. I believe she told them before that video game a couple of weeks ago. Since then, Chelsea are winning games comfortably. They won today 5-1. Lauren James gets a hat trick. Suddenly, it's like the players themselves they get because they want her to go on a high. I personally think that Chelsea won't win the WSL. I've said this before. I even said it before the announcement. I'll stick by it. I think they're putting with this now news of Emma Hayes leaving to the USA in May. I think it's going to put too much pressure on these players with the added pressure of winning that Champions League, and they're going to crumble in both.
Yeah, it could work. Well, if we
work in our favour, we turn up ourselves.
Yeah, I can see the logic in that. Actually, yeah, I can see logic in that. Be interesting. Yeah, poor Emerson's his airways are not good today, bless him. So, but what do you reckon tomorrow, Brighton away? They're definitely going to turn up. You know it.
It's a sellout, so yeah, it's a sellout as well. We saw it did against United a couple of weeks ago. By rights, they should have won that game, Brighton against United. There's not going to be. It's not like there's been the last few years where they've been pretty much nailed on 3 points for the big guns that go there and all that, or come when the Brighton comes to the big guns and all that. It's usually like a 3 points guaranteed sort of thing normally. It's like the new manager that's come in, got some of her players that she wants, got the system going, and they're playing a good brand of football, and she's got players feeling confident in themselves and not just bowing down to the big teams like we've seen in the years gone by. With all due respect, in WSL, the lesser clubs. Obviously, also we had the news in the last few weeks as well that Brighton, as a club, are looking to build their very own dedicated women's stadium for the women's team in the next few years. So they're not going to ground share with their main stadium with the women's team going forward. Once they get this other stadium, it goes ahead. But they will have a unique. They'll be the first team to have a dedicated stadium for the women's team if it goes ahead, obviously paying permission and all that.
Okay.
So, but it just seems, as I say, there are different teams this season, and again, we can't do as a team. We can't do what we did last week in the first half in terms of just switching off in stupid moments. This is a frustrating thing. I think that came to, for me, the climax last week. Everything in that first half, I was like, because the goals when the goals came, it was against them on a play or a mistake from us. It was like it's a story of the season, which is not just of the girls but of the men as well. When we can see goals, we're gifting goals, and it's doing my head in. And eventually, it's going to come back and bite us on the backside. And it could, if we mess about and do that again tomorrow, it could happen tomorrow. We've already lost one game this season. We need to keep up we need to keep put pressure on Chelsea, and not, as I say, Chelsea winning tonight. We need to, as I say, come at more of a second half Leicester performance, but for 90 minutes. If we can do that, we've got a chance tomorrow of getting the 3 points.
Hopefully. Emerson, can you hear us? No, no, poor Emerson.
I don't know if his screen's frozen or something, because I can't. Oh, he's moving smooth. Like I say, he's like, don't blink, and I'm like, unnerving.
So anyway, go on, Ricky. You like doing predictions. What do you reckon tomorrow?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't want to say. I never want to jinx it.
I'm in one of those minds that we might win, but I'm not too sure yet.
Emerson says 3-1.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know who says it's 3-1. I don't know. I'm hoping Arsenal.
Well, yeah, more importantly.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably concede again because our defence is really not there. And then there is our goalkeeper next. Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely, but hopefully only concede one. Oh, look, the men do it as well. Oh, that's another debate, isn't it? We won't go there yet. But I want to bring that in a bit later on because, like yourself, I'm very passionate about this goalkeeping situation. But we'll come back to it after we've talked about the women. Yeah. Sorry. Are you doing a watch along tomorrow, Ryan?
I will be, yes. I'll go live about half out of
Okay,
the group. So it
brilliant.
allows more people to come in and get themselves into the channel and all that, yeah.
Yep, cool. Right, that's brilliant. We'll get, yeah, and it's on quite a nice time actually. 2's a good time. That's cool.
Nice 2:00 kickoff. No mediocre men's football like Fulham versus Villa or something like that to get in the way either.
Well, actually, that. Oh,
people will
actually,
be
no,
more
actually, I
focused.
did watch the FA Cup during the week. Charlton and whoever.
Non-league. They're playing away to the non-league side in the replay as well. They won 6-1 in the end. They won at half
Yeah,
time.
that was really good to watch. I love that, what I call proper FA Cup. And plus also Steve's brother-in-law is born and bred Charlton, so I thought, I support them. And yeah, it was good to watch. I enjoyed that. But yeah, we are blessed at the moment with international football. So yeah, we won't have anything nauseating that's clashing or whatever. Yeah, and another one I want to point out, we had another academy player that I've certainly never heard of, Vivian Leah, which I thought was interesting name. 17 years old, England, Arsenal player. So, and I was saying to Emerson, I did feel for her in the first half because she thought, oh my God, what am I watching here? But by the second half, it got exciting, didn't it? But yeah, good to see a young girl on there. And something else, of course, that was, well, you brought it up on our WhatsApp. Jodie Taylor returns.
Yep, in that boardroom level now. So she's obviously fully retired. So anyone that's watching this, calm down. She's not coming out of retirement to play striker again.
Yeah, that's it. No, you're all right.
They're all good
Yeah,
then.
quite nice to see,
she's ex-Arsenal, so we've done again 2 spells at the Arsenal. Sort of fitting actually saw her career out at Arsenal the way she did, and she's got an interest in staying in football in that aspect, and we facilitated an option to facilitating it. Sorry, my words getting mixed up there, getting tongue tied. But yeah, good luck to her. Hopefully, she does the job that's required and she enjoys it along the way.
Yeah, I mean, best I can say, she looks a really nice lady. I mean, obviously, well, quite right, is she? Mature, the right sort of age group. Good to see her watching the girls in training. Yeah, I'm sure it'll all work really well.
Again, being an ex-Arsenal player can only benefit. Obviously, for being a 2-time ex-Arsenal player, you've got that emotional attachment as well to the club. Not just like you've got your football-minded person. Like, you're football-minded, but also you've got an attachment to the club. So you've got an affiliation with it that you actually do care how the thing that's going on around the club.
Basically, it's going across the board now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, well, excluding Mehmet Ali, but yeah, I mean, you've got Edu, you've got Mikel. All right, Jonas has come into it and fallen in love. But yeah, to have Kelly, to have Jodie now, yeah, it's all to the greater good, isn't it? One hopes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so you mentioned, what was it? Edu, Arteta. I don't think David O'Leary's on the board, I believe, since Don Raoul's outed and all. Well, David O'Leary got brought back in. He hasn't got a title, nothing. He's just there like a member of the board, I believe. I'm trying to think. You've obviously got Kelly Smith, you mentioned already. So he's come back this summer, and it looks like she has the interesting coach, and then they're sort of giving her a role, and then seeing how that goes, and then sort of it seems like there's a plan there for Kelly down the line at some point.
Yeah,
as a full coach sort of thing. I don't know what aspect, but obviously it'd be the women's team or the girls, the youth teams or whatever. Yeah. But there's a clear plan there. The fact they've got started off in the position she has to play in, and then as an attacker, working with the attackers. So you've got Kelly Smith, trying to think now. Oh, and obviously you've got Alex Scott comes back every now and then, and obviously you've got it's just the club. We've said it, I said this years ago, even before I started doing this podcast and all that. The club, the reason why the club as a whole, in terms of the way the men were going and all that, they weren't getting the attention it was the whole club was getting, like it is now, because you had people on the board that weren't Arsenal or football people. They're just the number people, the people that are interested in numbers and just getting money in through the door and nothing else. No coincidence. You've got back to Mertesacker as well, sorry. No, it's no coincidence you've got your football-minded people and Arsenal people in the club, be it at coaching levels or managerial jobs or on the board itself, that suddenly things have turned around in the last, I'm trying to think now, 4.5, 5-ish years. And we're only adding as well. As I say, back to Jodie Taylor, only adding to that Arsenal family of in one aspect or another, be it at board level or coaching level, bringing them into the fold. And that can only benefit us going forward, touch wood.
I'm still very optimistic. Yeah, there's still some more pieces in the jigsaw puzzle, but yeah, I'm really optimistic. I think for the women, it is gonna come together. Well, as long as sometimes if we just have to get the 1-0, that I'll do. Just as long as it's a win. I think it'll be after the Christmas break. I think that's when we'll come back into our own. Well, I hope so. But no, that's when I think it'll really gel, because obviously you're going to get the likes of, hopefully Leah's going to return, be fighting fit. All right, I keep saying she has to be eased in, but yeah, I think we have to be quite patient at the moment.
Yeah, it's the same with Laura as well. She'll be. I think she's like 2 or 3. There's like a 2 or 3 week difference, wasn't there, between Leah getting her ACL?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Laura, wasn't it? So you're going to get them very close, coming back at the same time, sort of thing. That makes sense. So it's about easing them both back in. You don't. I said this because we've obviously been on other channels and all that, and this old group chats. Obviously, Union Timber going back. I know, going off topic here, but going to Union Timber. Obviously, 45 minutes into his Arsenal, competitive-wise, Arsenal career, he does his ACL. We're all feeling the worst for the rest. Like his season's done, because obviously an ACL's done. That's like a year plus to be fully recovered. Obviously, the girls, and now we're hearing it could be training by January, and potentially be back for the running. And that's unheard of for an ACL. But you don't want to rush to play it back either. I'm telling people, when they hear the word January, back in training in January, they're thinking he'll be back in by February. Like, no. Training. It's first off it'll be like 1-on-1 with a coach running, just light running, building your muscles back up, you're toning your body, getting the body used to that routine again, and then obviously and then slowly integrate into the team, and just make sure there's no hiccups along the way. And if there is, you're prepared for that possibility, because you don't want to. And the ACL is the worst thing to do, because coming back, it's an absolute nightmare. You have to ease them in, or this will go to the girls. We've seen the girls with Viv and their setbacks along the way, and obviously the men in football as well. We saw it affected Bellerin a few years back, and Holding had theirs at the same time. It's an absolute pain to come back from. If you rush back, there's a chance you could rupture it again, and that's your career done.
Yeah.
You can lose the pace. Whatever, if you have pace, you could lose that. You could lose your general movement of the leg itself. It could be literally hanging on by a thread, which means you'd have to retire. So it's all about timing, and as I say, not rushing the individuals back, whoever they may be, for the men or the women. But I am getting a bit concerned that this ACL is now becoming a more regular thing in football.
Yeah, it's a shame we can't get Mark Regan on, but yeah, he's sort of been doing quite a lot of research into this. They've got theories, but nobody's really coming down with anything definite, are they? They're not coming out.
No, because what was it? We had obviously all our season. First off, the ACL curse started at Aston Villa. Before their season even started, they were having like 4 or 5 players out with ACLs or whatever, or similar injuries. Then it crept over to us. Then it slept off. Then it came back near the end of the season. It seemed that it came across like it's just dominating the women's sport in general. And now it's like it's continuing sort of with the women, but also you've got the men. We're seeing male players getting ACLs in training, or just going down. We saw a few weeks ago. I know they've not confirmed it, but Madison for them not down the road, they literally just fall into the floor and having to go off. So it's a bit of a.
Well, it's interesting because
suddenly it's coming up and being the predominant injury for the sport in general now.
Because at one point they were saying it really was more a woman's injury, and there was various factors that could contribute to this. But yeah, as you say, we're saying it. Back in the good old days, it was all hamstrings, wasn't it? For good, I mean, and yeah, God forbid there were seriously
the famous metatarsal injury.
But there were knee injuries, and of course, at that time, that was it. Your career was over. But obviously, with modern technology, surgery, physio, the whole kit and caboodle, then, yeah, players, and as you say, the golden thing about it is easing them back in. But and yeah, just came out, and I was so excited about Urian Timber, and I haven't forgotten him. He's such an exciting young talent, and a couple of games near enough, and I was devastated.
Oh, I was there. I was up there. I was there with my brother on the day, and the second he went down. Obviously, he went down for a tackle in the first half. We were thinking because of how long it was taking to get back up. We were feeling up. Everyone in the state was feeling up. Maybe as they get taken off at half time, not risk it. He came out and everyone's thinking, okay, maybe
he came back out, didn't he?
Not as bad as you thought. And then, what was it? 50 odd seconds in the second half. Just literally, the ball gets played back to him. The ball's like half a yard away from touching his foot. And he just goes. And the second he went, I knew it was an ACL. I knew it, and I was just like, oh. It's just like seriously, can we not just in general? Can we not have a break from this bloody injury? It does my head in.
Yeah, no, I get that.
As you say, it's like his Premier League debut as well. His first competitive.
Oh, that's it. Yes, it was. Yeah.
It's just like poor lad, and you're thinking the worst. His season's done already before he's even got started. And people need to remember Timber's playing in a position under Mikel that wasn't his. He came in as a natural right-footed player. He wasn't. He never played left wing, an inverted left, but he took to it during pre-season and into that first game like a duck to water. I believe, I've said this before on this channel, if obviously assuming he hadn't got the ACL injury, Zinchenko wouldn't be playing as many games as he has been. There's no dig at Zinchenko. It's just that's it. Timber seems to be a bigger upgrade than Zinchenko.
Well, to be in fairness, I mean, all right. We all know Zinchenko's going to be in whatever quiet position it is in the midfield. That's where he's going to be better. But then, who does he replace? All right, I get that bit as well. But yeah, that is, mind you, who knows? But yeah, no. Actually, I've got a theory on this. Come January, just get his brother. I'll tell you where Arsenal, because they are identical twins, and from photos I've compared them. They really, they'd be hard to tell them apart.
I've seen the twin brother. Yeah, he's like,
they really do look alike. Now, Arsenal were a bit stupid, weren't they? Because they had J Timber on his shirt. If they had just put Timber, and then you get your brother, it gets his
maybe that's the plan. Maybe it was a long-term plan. Get Julian.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have put the J there. If you just got Timber, then refs won't know because they look identical. And it don't matter if he didn't play that position because Arteta just make him play that position anyway. So it would work. So, but anyway, that's for another day. Back to back to that one. Right. Yeah, I've talked to. Oh, I'll tell you with the other thing. Because next Thursday, Conti Cup. Oh yeah, you can hear us. Sorry, Emerson, you can hear us now.
Sorry, Emerson. Hi.
Yes.
Yeah, men's side. The under 17s and under 19s.
Oh yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Played this weekend, or? Yeah, okay.
Regarding the under 17s, they had a game. They had a game last Saturday, and they won comfortably. And Ethan and then where he played some minutes, and also Miles Lewis Skelly played some minutes, and also the under 19s one as well, 6-0. As I told you during the week, Starboy Junior scored the first goal in the first 45 seconds. I was told, something like that, and they won again today, 3-2 against Japan, the under 19s. But I'm not sure who scored the England goals, so I'm just waiting to see if Flash Score or Live Score would inform us who scored the goals. But they should do, because they did it for the first match on Tuesday. Wednesday. Sorry, and they played again today, and they play their last match on Tuesday in Spain. That's where they're playing. It's only like a mini tournament. With various countries. Meeting up in Spain, anything like that. So it's nothing UEFA or FIFA sanctioned or anything like that. So it's really just a get together. And also he's been in the news in the last, say, 24 to 48 hours as well. So they're saying that he could be an asset to the squad for the second half of the season. If things go their way, he could make his debut against possibly PSV in the last group match. So we just have to wait and see on that one, because as I said, they played, the rest of the squad that weren't on international duty played, Reading, and they lost 5-2, but they still progressed in this Bristol Street Motors Trophy, which is what was known as the Papa John Trophy.
Oh, right, okay.
Season. So they progressed, but no news of who they play in the playoffs and anything like that as yet. So I think one match was played today. So I think once this match was played, I think the draw early next week. We should know one home match left in that UEFA Youth Champions League against Lons on Wednesday week. But I can talk about that nearer to the time about that match. Though the under 18s played last Saturday is.
Yeah, didn't they win?
That was a topsy-turvy game to watch. As I said, I've seen the highlights of that match on Arsenal.com. That was.
Hang on, Emerson, you're frozen again, my love. Just waiting for Emerson to come back on. But BX, thank you for joining us. Thank you. We appreciate it. What's BX saying? I brought up that El Neni is this era's
last week, and they were making a meal of the game on Tuesday or Wednesday against Reading, where they were talking about in this Facebook group that mixed players and things like that, because we was wondering which player was this, what person was on about. He didn't say who, but we guessed it was Vieira. But he had a mixed bag of a game as well. So he scored a penalty and he missed the penalty. So thing like that in that.
Oh, Vieira
game
Nelson
as well,
were
so
playing,
like
weren't
that,
they?
so
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh well, it's what it is.
you know, for the academy. Because everything, and he played. I think he played the whole 90 minutes. Of why Vieira, he only played about say 70 to 80 minutes, I think, in that game as well. So, like that. So things are looking up. So as I said, onwards and upwards for the under 21s. As I say, their games are running out fast as well because they've not got many matches left this side of Christmas. So all the busy, it's going to be busy at the other side of Christmas, you know, from January onwards, because then the FA Youth Cup comes into play as well. So be interested to see if one or two do drop down and play in that Youth Cup run, of which
I
they've
think
had a
they
good
will.
up to.
I'm sure they will.
Got a feeling one or two will. Yeah, I got a feeling one or two will drop down from the under 21s and play in that tournament in that.
Well, they're going to need
matches as
strong
well,
players,
so-
aren't they?
Exactly. So being like that, because they didn't say they didn't, because nothing was much mentioned about about the players that were missing that would normally play in the under 21s in that cup match during the week. So thing like that. So regarding that thing, my points regarding the Brighton game. As Ryan said, it's not going to be as easy as most Arsenal fans think, because I got feeling if Brighton set up the way Bristol City set up from last week, they might, as you said, they might nick a goal or thing like that. So that's why I said 3-1 to Arsenal. So I got feeling that's the way I think that match is going to end up, 3-1 to Arsenal. And hopefully, if we get more than 3, it's a bonus, because with Chelsea winning today,
Yes, I watched
5-1, because their goal difference is going up and up and up, and Arsenal are just playing catch up on that. But then again, they had mixed bag of fortune during the week. They drew 2-2 with Real Madrid. They've got the conquerors of us on Wednesday, or thing like that. So that'd be interesting match to see if they put that on TNT Sport as well, because I was surprised to see that Real Madrid Chelsea game on TNT. I thought Zan had rights for all their Champions League matches, but we'll just have to wait and see who gets the coverage of that one. So I'm hoping it'd be another draw. So Chelsea's still got a lot to play for as well. They play their key players today, because obviously they're rested for the match on Wednesday. So because they know now they have to rotate match after match, and then comes into play the following.
It's my doorbell. Yeah, sorry, just BX is saying Fabio needs to get back on it ASP.
After all, because I was giving Richard the big build up to say it's still. I'll wait and see if my health in 6% chance that I'll go to that game against Southampton. Definitely not going to the game tomorrow, because obviously this fan that I know of would have driven there, because we'd take an hour and 20 minutes just to get there as well. So I think like that. So he'd be driving. So, but we'll see what happens anyway in the next 24 hours, because he may tell me he's still going and he's still got the ticket, and then it's up to me to decide whether to go or not. If not, I'll just watch it indoors and then be part of the watch along when Ryan does it live on tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
But Ryan, are you doing another on Tuesday evening regarding the Macedonian?
So didn't catch that. What was that? That Tuesday?
Sorry.
Are you doing the watch along for the Macedonian match on Tuesday or Monday? Sorry,
Monday. I'm going to message Liam, talk to me tomorrow about that one. See how he feels after recovering from last night.
I
didn't even realise you were doing a watch along.
I'll mention it in the chat later on. Just let you know, England under 21s are winning 2-0 against Serbia under 21s.
Oh, that's cool.
No idea if any Arsenal players are in in that.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure if there's any Arsenal players in that squad as well, but I doubt it anyway. So, like that. So, also, I think you might have known, Ryan. There might be a behind-the-door friendly at the training ground either Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. That hasn't been officially been confirmed, because with Arsenal, when they do these behind the doors friendlies, they don't mention it until later on that day when they give it like a brief match report. So I've been hearing that Odegaard, about 2 or 3 others may get some minutes, so they're ready for the game against Brentford next Saturday. Like that. So just let you know. So
just look at.
You may see a few faces in that one.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the match day squad for the Gunner 21s today. Half time. Brooke Norton Cuffey is the only technically Arsenal.
He's the only one. So
the Arsenal player, but he's unknown yet.
Well, you wouldn't call him an academy player anyway. You can't call him an academy
player.
Quite
mature now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
But, I want to touch on that actually. I don't know if you touched on it before I came on, but the Fabio Vieira playing on last Tuesday at the Bristol, whatever it's called, whatever the sponsorship called trophy is now.
The old Papa John's trophy.
The old Papa John's trophy, basically. Yeah, but that felt for me like Arteta was punished. That's a sort of a punishment from Mikel to say, well, you came on, you had your chance, you got sent off. Didn't cost us in terms of points, but you need to be punished now because now we're going to lose you for 3 games. So you're not getting the respite on Tuesday night. You're going up to Reading to play with the kids. It felt like a bit of a punishment because apart from Reece that we mentioned already, who obviously needs the minutes anyway to keep himself going. Fabio's been getting minutes. It's not like he needs the minutes. And yeah, it felt like Mikel was being the strict teacher, like, how dare you do that? This is your punishment now.
Yeah, I can believe that actually.
And from what I've heard as well from friends of mine, like Andrew and all that, his body language was like he didn't want to be there on Tuesday. He just weren't he just weren't with it basically.
Perhaps he's got attention deficit as well.
Because his next match will be the Champions League one against Lens as well. So, because everybody was going on the thing when I done the report afterwards, everyone was going, "Why is he playing?" Thing like that. They don't realise it's a different cup competition, and that's it. Because his ban only applies if it's in the league and possibly FA Cup. But since the FA Cup's not in January, so he's not going to be playing again until early part of December.
Is it a great look?
So that's where you need all your players as well.
From the set,
and then if Odegaard comes through unscathed,
if
he comes through unscathed, then he should be okay.
Yeah, that's the. I'm just getting fixtures up now.
Because there was he had 2 types of injury, whether it's concussion, they said, or
it's all a bit ambiguous, isn't it? Because you hear concussion,
it definitely misses, or a hip injury. That's what I was told. It was a hip injury, not concussion. Like that, so if it was concussion, they said it was done in training. It was hit on the ball very hard in the face or something like that.
This is the thing though with this concussion, this concussion rumor that's going about since Monday night. The big question is if the answer we'll get our answers if it's true or not next Saturday. Obviously, the 5:30 kickoff at 4:30, we'll get our answer if it's. Because surely, if he's still showing symptoms of concussion, if these are true from the media and all that, that's concerning. Considering that the incident would have taken place 3.5, nearly 4 weeks prior to the Brentford game. If he's not fully recovered, then that's concerning. And that's you start asking more questions of, is it really concussion, or is it, as you say, a hip injury, or what, this, that, and the other? Because it just made no sense. It was just weird because he played the West Ham game in terms of he came on, scored a goal, looked all right, the few minutes he did play, and then suddenly, it's just out, gone, boom. We're only hearing about concussion via second-hand sources via the media. But going back to the Fabio thing, I mean, Fabio Vieira misses the Brentford game, as you mentioned already, Wolves at home and Luton away, and he's come back, in terms of being available, will be for Aston Villa away on the 9th of December. So...
No, we haven't seen any facial injuries. Sorry.
No. And again, it didn't, also just to sort of back up the reports and all that, like, he pulled out the international team as well. He didn't go on international duty either. Like, as Emerson mentioned, there's a behind closed doors friendly being organised for the players like himself and others that are just coming back. That's himself, Smith Rowe, Jesus. I hope he'll be back by then from Brazil, just to see where they're at in their fitness and see if they can be available for selection. On Saturday night before the rest of the team come back. Because most of the team don't come back till late as well.
Ryan, regarding Jesus, I think he's back home already, because he didn't play in that game where Martinelli scored his first goal, because apparently they paid Martinelli as a striker. Then somehow in the second half, he went from a striker to a left back. So they were saying it was a bizarre game in Brazil, something like that. So I haven't seen any pictures. All I know that Martinelli scored his first Brazilian goal, something like that. So they said Gabriel had a decent game, but I think Jesus is back home with the UK. Whether he, as you said, whether he plays in that behind doors friendly next week at the training ground, we just have to wait and see when we see the match report later on that day as well, because obviously it'd be in the afternoon, something like that. But as I said, as you said, Ben White's another player. He picked up an injury, because no one knows what sort of injury he picked up, because he was, as you said, he was seen prior to the match at the team hotel. I didn't see him personally. I didn't see him myself when they done the team walk that day, because they had 3 youngsters there that were there. One was on the team walk, the other 2 I didn't see at all. So whether they're in their hotel room at the time when the team went for their walk, and obviously they came down together to have their pre-match meal prior to the match. But as I said, that'd be interesting to see what sort of injury Ben White picks up as well, because nothing's been said about him, what injury he's picked up.
No.
So things are looking up slowly, but as I said, other clubs, because all the other clubs are moaning, about things like that, because 1 or 2 players are still getting injuries during this international break, because they said Haaland was the latest one from Man City, but then he was seen after the match walking as like a normal person. He had a slight twist of the ankles, but he'd be okay for the next match. But I can guarantee you can see the difference on Monday. You guarantee Saka and Declan Rice will play from the start, because obviously they've got a late kickoff next Saturday, and then you're going to see Trent Arnold, Foden, and whoever, and Grealish will not even start that game against Macedonia, because they know they've got a game next Saturday, and it's the early one on Sky Sports. Because that's the first time we've had a late kickoff on TNT Sport, in the Premiership this season so far. So, So, just have to wait and see. I know it's going to be a difficult game, Brentford as well. So, but we'll talk nearer to the time about that one, possibly Thursday when we have our regular show back.
Sorry, can I just want to? Sorry, I don't BX, because you're the only person in chat. Thank you so much, mate.
Has anyone turned up? Everyone else has betrayed us and stayed on Gary's channel.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. Yeah, I get that. But yeah, the Martinelli goal was great until the Diaz brace. But to be fair, what was beautiful was his dad was in the stand.
His dad was there and he witnessed it all, and
yeah, and I am a compassionate person, and it's not always about, it's about human beings, and that must have been a terrible, terrible thing to have your parents kidnapped, and for his mum and dad to be in the stadium, and he scores 2 goals. That's a wondrous thing, and whatever. I mean, I know it don't affect us, but I'm just saying it's. I think that's
from the human perspective, the human nature,
Oh yeah, that's it. It's that's good. But at least Martinelli got a goal. Come on, it's Brazil. I'm sure they'll be fine. Well, more importantly, is Jesus going to come back with legs? Is he going to?
Well, he's not been, as I say, he's not been playing, and
Well, yeah, hopefully.
Selected, so he must. Like Emerson said, maybe he's come back early because apart from them initial photos of him training when they first called him back to do the assessment, do the Osaka thing of we're going to assess him ourselves. He hasn't really, seen much of him aside from that. It's gone very quiet on that side of things. But I mean, I don't like international football in general. I mean, that's not a testament to that. Literally, again, I say it like I said last night. It's Liam's fault we did that watch on, guys. It was his idea. He thought it would be a great idea and all that. See Saka and Declan and all the gang. And it was the most boring, dull, Southgate-esque football you could ever see in your life. And now I said, we'll do this again Monday. He's like, I'll let you know. Brazil have been challenged these years and really out injured.
Because even Dion Dublin summed it up. At half time, it said it was boring and everything like that. He summed it up perfectly.
He keeps it.
He got it spot on as well about that match. Got it spot on and like that. And also, I'm sure you saw the papers today that Charlie Patino's linked to Juventus.
Oh yeah, I've seen it in the media hype.
As well as Thomas Partey as well. So because they're short of midfield players, so they need a couple of midfield players.
They can have Thomas.
You took the words out of my mouth there. Yeah,
he doesn't play for us anyway, basically. So
free.
Give us 40 mil. If you can give us 40 mil, you can have him.
Yeah, result. Yeah. We'll find someone to fill his space. And going back to Patino, I really hope, and obviously the right people have had a word with him. Just keep doing what you're doing, and allegedly, as long as Arteta's there, that he will have a place in the squad.
Well, it's going to be an interesting summer ahead because, Partey aside for a moment here, you've got Jorginho, obviously in his last year of his contract. I don't know if there's any chance of him renewing for another year or retiring, whatever. I don't know what the plan is today with Jorginho. El Neni, probably going to retire into the season. He's in the last year of his contract. So midfield-wise, could be a complete refresh and come this time next year. So this.
I've got a funny feeling Jorginho won't go. You've seen too many things where he's saying unfinished business with us. Yeah.
But either way,
I think he has to now. But
for players like Charlie, this is the best opportunity now. He can't. If he doesn't do his loan spell, come back and then take the opportunity. If it's given to him in pre-season, that's on him then. Because you won't get timing-wise, you won't get a better opportunity to come in and stake his place in the match day, not just the match day squad, but in the squad in general, the senior team. Get a couple of red card. He got a red card a couple of weeks ago for a second booker ball. So that's something he needs to sort of calm. If he's got a bit of a hot head or not, I don't know. Because again, don't watch Swansea. So, but he did get a red card apparently.
Mind you, it's championship.
Ethan, I want to see more of Ethan actually. Ethan Nowie. I know he's still young and all that, but I'd like to see a bit more of him. But it is what it is.
But he is very young. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, he's like literally. He's just left school and he's literally probably.
Well, he's just turned 16, isn't he?
Yeah, he did his GCSEs back in May, June, I think it was.
Right. Okay.
So he's literally just out of school. So yeah, so I get that side of things. But again, he does look. Again, we saw him in the States in the pre-season. He does look like phenomenal talent. We've got him signed down to that new deal. We've got him obviously scholarship, but once he hits a certain age, then we'll give him. He gets his professional contract officially.
Well, to be fair with these young players, it's who they've got behind them. And I mean, Emerson
agents
can
will-
certainly vouch
yeah.
for that. But if you've got parental guidance that isn't the best, they're going to be filling your head with something that's unrealistic. If they are telling you this is fantastic, but it may end tomorrow, because we all know that can happen. It's a fact. Be optimistic, live your dream, but it might not be your forever dream. But going back to Patino, yeah, I think it'd be a fool if he walks away now.
Yeah.
And it's not his fault, but the biggest problem for these youngsters has been Bukayo. He was so, I mean, he's God-given talent. Nobody can dispute that. But because Mikel was so short of players, and, well, look what happened to SR. He was, unfortunately, he got the injuries, and he was played on serious injuries, but that's another story. But Bukayo was so lucky in that respect. He was needed. He more than got the job done. Now, you cannot drop him. Well, both for Arsenal and England, but incredibly lucky in that respect because of the lack of decent players at the time. But I worry so much for Bukayo. What is he now? Just 22?
I think now.
Something like
I think he had his 21st, didn't he? Or maybe he's still going on 22.
22.
Yeah, he's 22.
Yeah.
I think
He
Smith was
is
a
so
year older.
young. And I know physically he's a man, they all train, but he's only got to get a bad injury. He's playing too much. And I know that's him as a person, his work ethic. But, yeah, I worry for him.
Well, again, when the teams came out for England last night, I was so relieved to see Saka not starting.
Oh, God, yeah. That's the only reason I watched it.
Because we literally know Southgate. If Southgate picked Saka for England selection, up till last night, he loves playing Saka into the ground, giving him every minute of every fucking game. It's obviously So I was like, oh, okay, what's Southgate drinking today? Fantastic. But in the second half, I lost my mind because I was like, why are you bringing him on? We're winning a game. It's meaningless. We've qualified.
Have we already qualified?
We qualified with 2 games to spare.
Right, there you go.
I know it's 2. Obviously, last night was the penultimate game of the group and all that, but we won 0 up anyway. I know by fluke more than anything, but didn't need to bring Saka on. It wasn't like
it's between Italy and Ukraine to qualify.
Yeah. And again, we've got a game on, as I say, Monday as well. So it's a bit quick turnaround. I would have rather just have the night off. Because we all know there's no way Southgate's going to do a double bubble with Declan and Saka both on the bench on Monday. We know they're both starting. As annoying as that may sound, but I'd have rather with that in mind have them both off last night. But it is what it is. And I'm really annoyed for Declan though, because obviously he scored his worldie goal yesterday.
Oh, I was gutted for him, yeah.
And Harry Kane, of all people, standing on offside position and obstructing the goalkeeper's view, apparently. That's a pain in the backside, but it is, again, I just don't like international football. But obviously,
no, I really don't like it.
Do you want to touch on this Aaron Ramsdale and his dad situation?
Yes, let's do that. Because I feel as passionate as you do, Ryan. And I will plug them because we've all watched them, but I usually do it on playback. But I love the Highbury squad, and I know Nick's been on there before. I didn't listen to because I was doing it on playback, and it does go on for quite a long time, and it was in the morning, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I didn't listen to it in its entirety, but I've seen the quotes of what Nick said. I'm a parent, and at times I've fought my daughter's battles when she's a bit too old. That's what good parents do, rightly or wrongly. My biggest thing about this is Arteta so sold us this goalkeeper who hardly any of us really knew. So we had to do our research, and the research didn't look that good. But he really sold Rand, and we fell in love with him. And he's actually not a bad goalkeeper for the record. I mean, when you got the lights, and sorry, another goalkeeper I really liked is Michael Senior. I liked him, Endall. And you've got our David Seaman. They're rating him. They're proper goalkeepers. They had their longevity. And yeah, rightly or wrongly, I am not happy with what Arteta has done here. I'm not saying it's Raya's fault.
No.
No, we haven't said that, but I just think it's wrong. Because, and another thing I want to, and I said it in Gary's show a bit earlier, and I really wasn't being silly about it. And John Gooner put something up on Twitter, but I didn't really come back on it. And the whole thing about when he was talking to Ian Wright, and basically you've got some sort of attention deficit going on here. Now I'm dyslexic. My daughter's diagnosed back in the day. I'm an old bird. You didn't diagnose common kids with dyslexia next fact. And I sometimes have a bit of an attention deficit, but I think that's just more to do with the dyslexia than ADHD, whatever. But if the guy really does have a genuine condition of that nature, oh my God, Kel and the club should be supporting him. They bloody
that doesn't. Because people can. With that clip you're referring to, that was a 23-second clip taken from an actual podcast or something they did for Budweiser, Ian Wright, and some other. So I didn't recognize the person, to be honest. But it's a 23-second clip taken from that, without the context of building up to where he says what he says, and people not doing their research just went, see, it explains so much. He really did cost us this and do this, and it's like, do your research, go back, and like you say, the whole the context behind leading up to that conversation was basically he's got, from what I can make out, a form of ADHD. So basically what he's saying with that, and I'm then being asked to, well, like every player, you're being asked to be your full focus for 90 minutes. Now he's a goalkeeper, positional wise, most of the game, but we are Arsenal. Most of the time, we ain't got nothing to do. David Seaman was the same. He had, when we were at our pomp, nothing to do. Lens as well, etc., etc. John Lukic. You get a bit bored, even if you've got, even without ADHD or any dyslexia.
I would.
You would genuinely get home or away. You'll be standing there thinking, right. So I'll get a paycheck though. I'm getting Greekman behind me.
Thank you, BX.
This is what grinds me with this clip as well. That when Aaron first arrived, when he became our number one at Arsenal, he went on Ben Foster's podcast, and it's on YouTube. I've watched it back at the time, and he pretty much he said back then what he's been saying now. No one better than I did.
Yeah, nobody better. Yeah, exactly.
No one said a thing. No one showed any concern for because he was obviously saying to keep myself going, to make, because obviously when I get nothing to do, I need to keep myself occupied. Otherwise, I'll switch off and things might happen. So when I'm playing away from him, I love that because you've got fans. You're outnumbered. You've got fans behind you both goals, giving you grief, and I feed off that, and I'll give it back when I got a chance. I'll give it back. We've seen it. He does it at home as well.
I love the way he gets engaged. Yeah.
And even when it comes to home games, if he's got like the what's it called? I can't remember what they're called now. The crock hen. I can't remember what they're called. That's Burton Army. That's it. When they're doing their singing, they're chanting, and all that. To himself, what he's got nothing to do. He's saying, "I'm singing along to the chants at the same time." But it's keeping his brain ticking and making sure he's alert with what's coming and what's going on the pitch. And as I say, if he has actually been diagnosed, and this is the gist of it is that he has been diagnosed with a form of ADHD, and then suddenly David Vaya's come in and he's been dropped. That doesn't look good on Arteta. It seems like we've been digging at, and again, let's put it bluntly. Me and Ange on this channel have been digging at Mikel. There's a few others in the chat and all that. We have been digging at Mikel in general for the whole treatment of this situation. This makes him look even worse.
Yep.
And and people, but again, people aren't focusing on that. Be it Arsenal media outlets or other channels and this, that, and the other.
Sorry.
So their main focus is this doesn't look good on Aaron. This doesn't look on what's his dad doing? He's making it look worse. Obviously,
Like him, sorry,
David Ray can't play against Brentford because he's on loan, so that must mean da 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 da. And I'm like, we know Aaron's going to play on. We know Monday. Aaron's going to play on next Saturday against Brentford. We know that because David can't play. He's on loan, so he can't legally. He can't play.
Yeah.
So, but we know no matter what he does, he could have a worldie of a game, absolute worldie.
Play next time. Yeah.
He won't be dropped for the next game until further notice, until the FA Cup probably. And I think going back to obviously the hybrid squad and Sophie and Kev, like you mentioned, again going back to knowing better than I did. Nick's been on this podcast, and I know for this fact 'cause I've watched it every time, 2 or 3 times prior to this recent invite. Isn't it? The thing is, it wasn't like he's asked. He was invited because he's gone on there because in the situation of this what is right now, because he knows and trusts Sophie and Kevin. He knows what they're all about. He knows that he won't be taken out of context by them. And what did people expect him to do in this moment in time where he's been invited on? His son was the number 1 of the club that he's representing in terms of the podcast, and they're going to ask him, "How is Aaron?" And that's how it stems from. And he just said, "Look, before we get into it, I'm not talking for Aaron, or the club. I'm talking, as you say, Aaron's dad. I'm a concerned parent for his mental health. He hasn't got that spark. He hasn't got that smile he once had before. Sort of, he's lost that. We're trying to keep him going on that side of things. And obviously Kev's obviously ex-Arsenal himself, and he had the situation himself where when Ian Wright came in, Kev was dropped, and he had to fight for his spot basically between him and the Smith and Righty, and he had to do what he had to do to get himself a chance of getting back and all that jazz. And then, so yeah, obviously Nick took all that on. He was like, "Well, Kev," he asked a question. He was genuine. He was heart on his sleeve in his moment. He went, "What does Aaron do though when he hasn't been told why he's been dropped? He's not being told by his goalkeeping coach, who, by the way, this is me saying this, by the way. He's not. This is the goalkeeping coach, by the way. Just to add context, the goalkeeping coach is best friends with David Raya, by the way, off the pitch, well, the Brentford days and all that. But he went to Kevin and went, "Well, what does Aaron do? How does he know what to improve on when even his goalkeeping coach isn't helping him?"
Yeah.
And he deep down, and he right now in Aaron's head, he believes no matter what he does, when he does play these odd games once in a blue moon, he's seeing the person that replaced him making mistake after mistake after mistake in games. In the majority, not all games, but in the majority of the games that he's played, he's been making mistakes. I mean, he literally did. He almost inherited Richard Wright against Sevilla in the away game. He almost punched it into his own net somehow. I was just like, ugh. But Arteta's quick to defend the guy and keep starting him. And Nick's whole point was, what does Aaron do? How can we motivate him to do this? What you've done? When in his head he doesn't feel like he's got a chance because he's got the manager not telling him what he's done wrong. He's got a goalkeeping coach not helping him, and also has a conflict of interest within the competition of goalkeeper. And he's seeing week in, week out make these mistakes and being protected, and yet he didn't get that same protection himself.
Sorry, Ron. BX has brought something. Is he Spain's number 1? Right?
No, he's not Spain's number 1.
No, I didn't think so. Sorry,
he made his debut last night, apparently.
That's it. Yeah.
But he isn't number 1. He isn't. It's just new toy. Off you go. Just because I think they've qualified as well, so they're doing a bit of rotation.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, I just thought we'd clarify that one.
But as I say, I don't get why everyone's jumping on Nick's back as well, because no one had a problem with Nick going on this podcast before. Cool. 2 or 3 times, as I mentioned, he's gone on that podcast as a guest, They spoke about Aaron, spoke about obviously Aaron's upbringing. Even Nick has a former competitor himself, and when we had all this news about David potentially coming in, he was on around that time and he said, Aaron's not concerned. He wants the competition. He's been raised that way. I'm a former sporting competitor myself. You want to be pushed. But I think that in this case, everything's against him. And you've got a goalkeeping coach who's been pushing for David from day one, who has a conflict of interest because he is off the field. He's one of David's best mates. I'm sorry, that's a conflict of interest. And I'm sick to death of people coming at me with, well, statistically, last season, David was a better goalkeeper. Well, here's a stat for everyone that wants to throw that down my throat. Here's a stat. Who, out of the two goalkeepers, who was close to getting the Golden Glove last year off of David De Gea? David De Gea won the Golden Glove for most clean sheets. Who came closest to that one? Being closer to winning it than the other? I can tell you, it wasn't the one. It wasn't the goalkeeper from Spain. Put it that way. That's the important stat. And I hate people throwing stats because when it comes to football matches, I go from the eye test of what you see on the day or on the night, respectively. And David doesn't feel real confidence. And when this whole podcast, the morning after this podcast was done and all that, and the clip sort of done its circulation and went viral and all that, you've got people going in on Nick or going in on Aaron, and I'm like, and when you point out, as a fan, I'm pointing out my flaws and my concerns on David at this moment in time. Oh, you're just saying it because you're English and Aaron's English and da 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 da. And I'm thinking, or is it? Oh, Ramsdale can make mistakes, but Raya can't. No, Ramsdale has made mistakes, and I've called again on this channel. You can check it if you don't believe me. I called him out on it when he did it against Southampton and other games as well, where he's done something he could have done a bit better in certain games in terms of stopping shots going in and whatever. We called him out, but this is interesting for me because I asked a question on Tuesday publicly on a tweet or X, whatever it's called now, on a post. I posted it because there's a back and forth between me and someone else. And I asked the question 2 or 3 times. They never actually came back and answered the actual answer. In the 2 years, just over 2 years that Aaron was our number one, how many mistakes did he make that led to us conceding or dropping points in that 2-year frame? And to counteract that, how many has David Raya made in a month and a half of being our number one? And I said, I can guarantee you, Raya's mistakes and errors are more than Aaron's in the 2 years Aaron was number one, and that's concerning for me. And but they don't take that. They read a little bit, they take certain words from it and go, well, I can't win with you then. I can't.
They're not going to listen to reason.
No, if you're not going to listen to reason or at least answer my question, I'm not going to sit and waste my time because it's just ridiculous. And it's as it's been mentioned as well. I've said it, you've said it. I'm sick of saying it, but this whole situation could have been avoided if Mikel had handled this better. He didn't have to bring David in as number one. In terms of form, Aaron had done nothing to justify being dropped this season. He just got in the England squad. He's got PFA player. He got in the team of the year for the PFA team of the year for last season. Nominated in the Ballon d'Or. Nominated for the goalkeeper of the year as well in the FIFA side of things as well. And what was probably the happiest fortnight of his life in recent times, he's come back and you've gone, no, fuck off, you're dropped. And now we're hearing that obviously we're now seeing in this podcast that Aaron's done with Ian and this other guy for Budweiser that he's been diagnosed with some form of ADHD, and effectively, it seems like he's been punished for having a form of ADHD, basically.
Well, yeah, this is what I'd love it if Nick could. It's unfortunate he has to do it this way, but once again, because he gets on, and quite rightly, and yeah, Sophie's excellent, and we all love Super Kev. Yeah, I'd love to hear that, because, like I said, I have dyslexia, and if this is the case for Aaron. I don't know if it was treated at school, and well, John Gooner would be a very good one to talk about this, because he has ADHD and he's never hidden the fact. But yeah, it needs to be addressed. And when you have something like ADHD, dyslexia, whatever, it is classed as a disability. And if the club are not addressing that, what
It
can I
doesn't
say?
it doesn't look good on the club either. If they're not doing
No,
their
not
bit.
because they're meant to be all inclusive.
Yeah.
And there's been a big thing, I mean, other than, of course, about racism, about LGTB, and of course, people with disabilities. And that is classed as a disability. So, yeah, not being inclusive, are they?
It doesn't, again, if that, publicly they might deny it. It could be this could be a genuine case of discrimination. Like they found out, obviously, he might have been recently diagnosed with this in the 2 years.
That's it. Adults can be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it's a recurring thing now where adults of my age and older that weren't diagnosed as kids are now getting this diagnosation of, be it dyslexia, ADHD. You name it, basically.
It's a shame we can't get John Gooner on, because he's very publicly put it out there on Twitter. And he's a bit younger, he turned 57 now. And he's and he had to do it privately. But he's just finally had the confirmation, he's lived with ADHD all his life.
Yeah. And, as I say, this could be a thing of Aaron's been, in the 2 years that he's been our number one, at some point, he's been diagnosed with that, gone to Mikel and the club and said, "Oh, by the way, And this could be a thing of, this could have happened. And again, this is just speculation from my point of view.
That's
it. Just to be clear, I'm not saying that this is actually a thing, because I don't want to come and ask me or whatever. But this could be a thing of after he signed that contract, because another thing that Nick brought up was they're so confident in Aaron at the time, they signed him down to a 4-year contract with the option for 5th back in April, May. I made a big deal out of it, and only to then bring in another goalkeeper in to then replace him with that goalkeeper without a question. Like, that doesn't.
It's just not making sense, is it?
Nothing makes sense. So you read between the lines, you would have that thought of he's probably been diagnosed during the summer, probably in the off season, gone off, had a feeling, but never quite wanted his answers. Gone and got some answers from his doctor, GP, whatever. Gone back to the club, told him, and then in terms of Mikel, instead of working with him, gone. I don't like the sound of that. But didn't say. But then that's it at that, and then gone and got a replacement in. It seems, as I say, he's in that case, he's been punished instead of working with him, helping him, and making sure he gets the right tools to cope with this condition.
Yeah, because it'll be all about coping mechanisms. Absolutely.
On and off the pitch. They've just gone, don't like this. David, he's still available. Come on. And it's like he's been punished for having a disability, which is a disability. And again, you've gone back. You just said the club, especially with the PR and all that. Since Mikel's coming, it's very we're one big happy family. We're all inclusive. This, that, and the other. This could completely car wash everything. And I was told by a friend of mine, one of my group chats that I'm in on WhatsApp, he's got a couple of mates within the club that work within the club, and the teammates in the club are fuming. They're not impressed of how this has been dealt with. They don't like how it's all just been like, off you go, Aaron, by out of sight, out of mind, and he's just been treated like this piece of dirt, basically.
Well,
After
sorry, Ryan, I'm just going to jump in there because what's been achieved by the men's now is what the women have had for a long time. Total unity. Obviously, you're always going to get your little closer friendship circles.
little
But
cliques
with
and
the
all that, yeah.
women, you know, this is a fantastic squad that is only improving, and hopefully football will. That's another story. But the men in the all right, yeah, they're a very close bond, aren't they? They're very together, and I can well believe they will not like that at all.
And okay, BX has just got this. BX just put a comment here. So, what's that? There we go. The fact that this has come out, the fact that it's come out that Arteta hasn't addressed the goalkeeper situation with Aaron shows he's handled it.
He's handled it poorly,
yeah.
Mm.
And that's the whole point. We said even before Nick did his appearance on Sophie's podcast with Kevin.
Mm.
We all said this. We didn't think it was fair. We don't see the justification for it. And then you add not just Nick's thing. Obviously, there's other podcasts that Aaron's actually done with Ian and all that.
Mm.
Not the 20, and again, not taking that 23-second clip away. To actually go and watch or listen to the podcast, or if you can. It doesn't look good on Mikel. It's like as I say, it is like he's punishing someone for having a genuine illness. And instead of working with them, he's going, well, I need to outdo my master. So I'm out in you now. I'm getting someone else in. And look, I'm all for competition and all that. Fair enough. But when you come out, you for no reason whatsoever drop a goalkeeper publicly like you did with Aaron. But you say, I've got 2 number ones. I want competition throughout. I'm not gonna.
Oh God, who does he think we are?
I'm gonna treat the goalkeeping situation like I would for an outfield player. In terms of either substitutions and this, that, and the other, and rotation for depending on the opponent. And then since then, and I've noticed it. Other people then jumped on his channel have noticed it as well. Whenever they are put under pressure, he wobbles. He doesn't. He looks suspect. He makes mistakes.
He's a nervous terrorist. I keep saying it.
Yeah, it is unnerving to watch. And again, with all the mistakes he's made, and the almost mistake of punching into his own goal, things like that, continuously getting started. There was an opportunity against Sheffield United to do a bit of rotation in that game, and for goalkeeper-wise, bring Aaron back into the fold against his former club, just give him a few minutes in the Premier League.
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to ask. That was his former club, wasn't it?
Yeah, and just to prove that you're telling the truth and that you're rotating and giving.
Exactly.
Take the pressure off David as well, and let him take a couple days out or a couple games out, whatever. No, David Ray in goal still, and it's just like. I can literally say 3 or 4 games where David looks good, and that is not just damning on him, but if you look at the games, it's because he had nothing to do in them games. When he has something to do, from the North London derby onwards, any big game where it's the ball, the opposition put it on him, he just looks like a nervous wreck. And again, I've said it on here, I've said it on other channels. I was in that North Bank that day against Man City in that first half. And as I've said it before, every man, woman and child wanted to rip his head off that entire first half because he held on to the ball way too long. And even when we had that Alvarez moment where he could have gone in, on another day that goes in basically, where Alvarez goes in. Even then, he continues to do it. It was just frustrating as hell. And he did it in the second half as well. People, because we obviously won the game, everyone's not really noticed that, tend to touch on that. And it just does my head in. And
sorry, didn't Mikel say that's how he told him to play, to keep holding on to the ball?
Yeah, suddenly,
excuse my language.
All of a sudden, I told him to play like that. Yeah. You told him, hold on to the ball.
You did,
join the attackers and make sure they don't score. But if they even get near you towards that goal, still hold on to it though and risk it. No, you don't. that was
No,
that.
exactly.
I'm
I thought,
telling you,
listen, I've never played in goal, but even I could work that one out, mate.
if Aaron had played that game and he had done exactly what David Raya did,
Oh my God,
we
yeah,
know
please.
Mikel would hang him out to dry publicly.
Big time, big
And this
time.
is another thing. But in terms of Nick as well, in that podcast, he does not once slag off David Raya though. In terms of, in general, like he said, look, end of the day, this isn't David's fault. He's a nice guy.
You're right, BX.
He's just doing what he's asked of him as to play and all that. But at this moment in time, the fan base have to unite and get behind David. As much as you love my son, you need to get. So he's not gone on. He's not gone on there to attack David Raya or whatever. He's just, as a dad, gone. This is the situation. This is how I feel as a dad. But everyone's taking it out of proportion, and yeah, it is what it is. And what I have found frustrating in all this is the fan base have shown that, well, not all the fan base, but certain parts of the fan base, the Ramsdale haters, as I call them.
Yeah, that's the one.
With their agendas, literally. Like I referred to earlier, I had a conversation with one of them on the Tuesday and all that. They weren't having none of it. But it's this notion of Ramsdale cost us the league last year.
What?
Like, what? Yeah, that's their notion.
Sorry,
It's his fault. It's Ramsdale's fault. We lost the league, and I'm like sitting there thinking, okay. He made a mistake in the running against Southampton. League-wise, against Southampton, Europa League are not even. Again, that's it. Again, Europa League. Touch on this for a second. Sorry. He's that high up in that game because, again, Mikel wants his goalkeeper to push up even off the ball. He's got to be there. So he's doing as he's told, right? But no, let's dig out Aaron and not dig out David for doing the same thing, right? But in the actual league running, Ramsdale made one mistake in that running, like a genuine mistake that he made that led to a goal that of it would have cost us points. So I ain't blaming him. If anything, last season he, in the 2 years, but last season alone, he won us more points and won us more games than he cost. I think I can literally Southampton, home and away, because obviously I think apparently he wasn't fully focused on what was going on around him for the Southampton away game or whatever, and positional wise. But an out and out mistake. Southampton at home. I can't remember any other game where, like, in terms of league-wise, he cost us points last year, or cost us a goal directly from a mistake that he made. But yet, all these Ramsdale haters are because of whatever reason, they want to pile in on him over and over again at every opportunity. There's a so-called Arsenal fan with a Smith Rowe profile picture, going out of their own time to make up a compilation video of goals that Ramsdale conceded in the 2 years as number one. But most of them weren't even his fault. There's just goals get conceded, guys. It's part of life, but not if it's Aaron, apparently.
Well, it's so frightening that they've got all this time to do that.
Yeah, exactly. But you've got that. But when David Raya comes in a month, as I referred to earlier, in the month and a half that he has been our number one in David, he has, in my opinion, made more mistakes, looked more suspect than Aaron ever has done in the 2 years he was prior as our number one.
So right, I agree.
But I'm just like, when you've got people with clear agendas, you can't have that conversation.
And well, this is the worst of social media, isn't it? They just want to stir it up. It'll be hate for Ramsdale, it'll be hate for another. All right, I know we're all kind of a bit 50-50 with Eddie, but there are times where the way they talk about Eddie, I think, for God's sake, could you really do any better?
Exactly.
You know,
it's like when these people have this agenda against Ramsdale within our fan base. It's like they talk and act like Sorry, they talk and act like no other goalkeeper or no other player in history has ever made a mistake.
Well,
Like
yeah,
Alan's the
it's
only person
life.
in the
We all
world.
make mistakes. Next.
Like he's the only person in the world, only goalkeeper in the world that's ever made a mistake.
Mm.
And I'm like, that's not how the world works. One of the best goalkeepers in Premier League history, Peter Schmeichel, Edwin van der Sar, David Seaman, even Petr Cech, even at Chelsea back in the day, they made mistakes. These are great goalkeepers. I'm listing it. They made mistakes. They are human.
Go Van, hold her hand, buddy. What are you doing?
Oh, what's Ricky doing?
I don't know what's going on.
What are you doing, Ricky? Right, okay, guys. Well, I was going to say what we'll just, we've totally done the Ramsdale thing. I'm sure we'll be talking about that one again.
Probably.
Yeah,
More
very
likely.
What I'll finally wrap this up now. We've got the Continental Tires Cup on Thursday.
Yeah.
And that starts at 6:30. We're going to presume it's probably on Arsenal.com and FA Player was last time, wasn't it?
I think it'd be like last time. If either both or one or the other, basically. Yeah, but I will be doing a watch on for that. And obviously, I know you're working, so if you want to come on in the second half,
Yeah, what I was going to say is because I'm meant to finish at 6, so I'll make sure I drive, but it'll be a tight push for. So if you can just get the ball rolling, then I'll just send a link and I'll jump in when I'm home. So yeah, and get a quick update of who's on the lineup and what have you. Because unfortunately, unless my boss isn't in, I won't be able to have a look. But yeah, I shall jump in on that one. I expect a good performance out of that one. More to the point.
We can do a sort of a watch along / podcast with that and sort of record it and put it out on Spotify as well as a in the moment, what podcast, whatever reaction to what's going on in that game.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, someone's happy. Yay.
Yeah, someone's going about. What is it? 6 in the evening.
Are the lights good, Ricky? Have they switched the lights on yet?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Are you allowed to show us? I don't think we're breaking any violations.
No. The Premier League don't own the lights, so it's cool.
Yeah. I think we're all right for that.
That's it.
Lights.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's sweet. That's really sweet.
They're really nice.
Oh, sweet.
There's a video of the fireworks on Facebook.
Oh, okay. I should check that out, actually. Sorry, PX is just saying, is there a game on today?
Arsenal-wise, no. That's the girls tomorrow. Girls tomorrow.
Girls tomorrow.
Yeah. The girls play tomorrow 2:00 UK time, but I'll be going live half hours always before the game kicks off. I want to get settled and all that.
If you actually want to watch the game, it will be on Sky.
Yeah. If you want to listen to it, if you're out and about and you want to listen to it, you can listen to it on the FA Play, but you won't be able to watch it in the FA Play because, as I say, it's on Sky. Oh dear, but yeah, that's gonna be. So we've got that, and then obviously potentially North Macedonia, England on Monday. Potentially see how Liam's feeling for that one after last night's bore fest or snore fest. It almost comes.
I didn't even realise you were on last night.
No, it was literally. We're both sitting in the second half. There's moments of dead silence, and I'm literally there struggling to stay awake. I'm like, oh, I just want this to end, please. What have I done to deserve this?
To be honest, I wasn't even going to watch it, but not being rude, the other program on the other channel was on, and I thought, which one? Because I didn't want to watch either, and in the end,
lesser of two evils.
Yeah, it really was, and I thought, and I keep saying this, it's a fact. Well, you know, Ramsdale ain't going to play, bless his heart. So I thought, I was pleased because I thought, okay, no Saka, no Rice, and then of course by the second half, you knew they were coming on, and then you just pray basically.
This is a question. I thought of this while you mentioned that about Ramsdale. What do you make of Southgate telling him he has to play? What's that? He's telling Ramsdale he has to play first team football, or he might not make the squad for Germany but yet Calvin Phillips, Maguire,
Yeah.
like the favourites are getting picked no matter what. And Calvin doesn't
exactly.
even.
That is.
Calvin's not even playing at Man City when bloody Rodri was suspended for 3 games. He didn't get minutes in that time
Hey,
frame.
Mr. Tommy.
He joined us finally.
The audacity of it, unreal, totally unreal.
I'm just like, am I seeing this? Am I hearing this right? Does he watched it? Yes, he said it live. I'm like, hang on, but you're picking X, Y, and Z who don't play at all.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, Calvin Phillips, I feel sorry, but I've always liked the player, and the worst move, I can understand why he did it, but yeah, going to them, it just hasn't worked out for him. Obviously.
It hasn't worked out for the
but
poor
as
guy.
for
That is what it is.
Maguire, please.
But even, what is it? Jordan Henderson has gone
Oh, another one.
Premier League football at the highest level. He's now playing in Saudi Arabia in front of 600 people per game. The level is completely different, but because he says the right things and he's part of these he's part of these groups that are more what Southgate's England want to be a part of. Got to keep picking him. Got to prove a point now. Instead of doing the right thing and saying, "Well, we've been saying all these things," he's gone against us by going to this Saudi club, who are totally against everything we stand for. They'll double down on it, and I'm thinking, hang on, he's doing all obviously the Henderson thing, Harry Maguire, Calvin Phillips, Rashford gets minutes, and he's not in form for crying out loud. There's other players that are not even playing, and they're getting picked no matter what.
Actually, King, you've got a point there. Yeah, put them on first half. Hopefully, it would flow more, and then get them off.
I mean, Ben White. This whole situation with Ben White as well. Just before we wrap things up, in terms of his England side of things, started last season fantastic. Didn't get a call up going towards the World Cup. Then got the call up for the World Cup.
Yeah, because someone was injured, weren't they?
Yeah. Even though Ben was the clear best full right back in the league as an English player. You got all that, and then calls up to the World Cup, and then mysteriously comes home early. Nothing ever said on that since, by the way. Nothing. What the whole, and since then he's never been picked. And then wasn't. And
sorry, I listened to Mr. Tom.
Sorry, Southgate goes, oh, there's better fullbacks ahead of him at the moment. He's the best. He is the best English right back in the league still.
Yeah, it's rubbish. But just something to bring on that Mr. Tom had said, Gary were talking about, and the whole thing. Yeah, Ben Wright has openly admitted he doesn't like to watch football on playback, whatever. I'll be honest with you, I don't, other than Arsenal, I don't watch a lot of football. And I do appreciate what Mr. Tom said about tactics, but it depends how much. But surely can't they do that on a little whiteboard and just show them snippets? I mean, I couldn't sit there and watch relentless games. I'd be bored. Maybe I've got. Sorry, I don't mean that facetiously, but with my dyslexia and probably a bit of attention deficit, I would get bored. How much can you watch?
Yeah, it would get tedious. It's just just get all the clips together, have a meeting, a meeting for every game, whatever how long it may be, and have it all out as a group. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And get dealt with there. And then everyone's on the same hymn sheet as well. There's no confusion. There's no whatever. I mean, Emerson's obviously asked a question in the private chat. Says, what are your views on Arteta's potential punishment from the FA? Obviously, he's been charged with misconduct.
Oh, God, yeah.
After his comments after the Newcastle game. Coincidentally, after the audio's been put out on Sky and BT or TNT, that's called now, last Tuesday. Suddenly, he's been charged, and he's now got until I think early next week to appeal, and then they go from there. Basically, it could be a fine. It could be as it says, it could even be a 3 to 5 match ban. I mean, so much for free speech. Bloody hell!
All right, in that sense,
basically, it's free speech.
I totally back Arteta. That I back him on, and he wasn't rude. He just spoke from the heart. Well, he spoke the truth. And yeah, it's just pathetic.
No, it's just taken away that free speech of,
Mm.
and basically you can have free speech. Basically, for us Premier League can say you can have free speech as long as you don't slag us, the league itself, or our referees off for not doing their jobs. Even when it's clear that referees are making mistakes consistently, week in, week out, no matter what, can't call them out, because if you call them out, we've got to ban you, because you're bringing the game to. As far as they're concerned, that's bringing the game into dispute. Then what? How about putting the money in, getting the right people to run the PGMOL in the first place, not Harold Webb. Me, go and get Kalina from FIFA. He would do wonders. I don't care. He was a fantastic ref. No one took any crap from him, and he did. He never made mistakes, from what I can remember back in the day when he was a ref. Kalina, get him in. He would out John Moss wouldn't have a job. Get rid of this. In terms of the refereeing side of things, the officiating, there is a clear click that has been formed in that situation, that setup of the older gentlemen's club, as they've now. It's now been called an old gentlemen's club. It's literally middle-aged men from the north looking after each other, and but instead of calling them out and putting them to court and saying you've got to improve because your actions as an official is. I'll read it in a sec. Your actions as an official is because you're not doing your job. You're making mistakes after mistake. That's bringing the game into dispute, which is making our managers in our league call you out. Instead of doing all that, we go no. We're going to protect the officials that are doing a crap job as it is, and just punish the people speaking out about it. It's ridiculous. But you got again because of the rivalry in football and all that. You got fans going, oh, ha 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 ha. They're like, no, what has got to happen for things to change in the officiating side of things? Because it is so poor. How bad has it got to get before everyone comes together? Clubs, fan bases, you name it, come together as one and hold the officials and the Premier League to account. To make sure that things actually genuinely change for the better. Otherwise, we keep going around. We had it with Liverpool, the Liverpool situation. We had it now with Newcastle v Arsenal. Give it a couple more weeks, it'll be something else. It just does my head in. Tom just being Tom, I see.
No, is there any more depravity in this chat now? My God, what am I saying?
Yeah, I moved on from that comment, don't worry.
Yes, absolutely. Too funny.
Oh dear, but yeah, that's what. Yeah, but what again? It does seem like it's just again Premier League and the officials coming together and looking after each other. And if anyone disagrees with them, they get punished for it. Instead of holding the proper authorities to account.
Oh, and before we wrap this up, I've never had anything against Everton, and I know Super Kev that's like his second home, bless him. And I'm not gonna lie, I like Dyche, I do. As a manager, he's old school English manager. I like him, and I'd like to see him. I like him in the Premiership, but I know a lot of people don't, but I do. And all right, Everton have held their hand up. They've had the points deducted, but you know where I'm going. What's going to happen with Man City?
And Chelsea.
Yeah, but Chelsea, I've been informed, have actually owned up to it.
It's more of the new owners. The new owners came in, went through the paperwork, saw some things they weren't sure of, went to the Premier League and went, "Is this legal?" And then the Premier League went, "Hang on, thank you for that. We've got to investigate you now." But I think like Everton, because they've like Everton did when they owned up to it, because they've owned up to it, they will get a points deductions, fine, whatever, slap on the wrist, don't do it again, sort of a warning, basically, up in terms of points deduction or whatever, like Everton have done. Man City, the reason it's for me, it feels like the reason that's taken so long is because of that 115 plus charges against them. It's like you got to be so spot on to get them on every single one of
How many
one of them.
A4 sizes? Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to be, and we know what their lawyers are like. Their Man City's lawyers are like as well. And we know, even though no matter what, Man City can't appeal it. If this goes against Man City, they can't appeal it this time.
5 years,
The Premier League, the Premier League got to be spot on. They've got to get something right, even though it can't be appealed. They've got to get it spot on, otherwise, it brings the league into dispute and that side of things. So I understand, but how much longer have we got to wait for that to be dealt with? Because the longer this goes on, the more they win, the more that they win is tainted. No matter what they do in the punishment, then if they get found guilty for 114 or 115, for example, one charge is not found. They're found not guilty. All the others are guilty, and they decide, right, you're relegated. You're starting off with a 30-point deduction. You're relegated to the bottom tier of English football. So that'd be like League 2. You've got a transfer ban for 3 years. You've got a 30-point deduction. Here's a fine as well.
And Haaland goes to prison.
Just for being
the fun of it.
That's what. Well, he's injured now. Apparently, got his ankle.
Oh, is he?
taken out.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Well, Norway played him against Faroe Islands. In the last few minutes, he got his ankle taken out. And he's had to pull out.
Well done, Faroe Islands. Wonderful. Sorry.
So, let's see if it's genuine or not. It might be a Man City employee.
True.
But because of this evidence, with me and Liam were talking about it last night on the watch along because of how bad that game was. We were saying like the Premier League now have set a precedent now with the situation. If Everton can get a 10-point deduction for what they've held their hands up for, what are you going to do with Man City in terms of their punishment then? Because it cannot be anything less than that. You've set the cornerstone now.
Well, yeah.
Snivers, Mr. Snivers is spreading the documents as we speak. Oh dear. Yes, sir, Mr. Burns. Yeah, we're going down the Simpsons route now. Yeah. But yeah, as I say, it's going to be interesting. No matter what, it's going to be interesting what's thrown at Man City their punishments for their respective charges. Because it's Everton one, it's financial fair, it's effectively financial fair play. They've overspent basically. That's just overspending in terms of what they had coming in, what they were spending. They've overspent. That's what it was. That's what they've been given their punishment, whatever. Man City it's not just overspending. It's illegal sponsorships to get loopholes around and spending more money, things like that, and this and that and the other. It's so complex.
And just buying Haaland because they could next. Yeah, come on, just throw that in.
But it's so much more than just what Everton did. Which, as I say, because they've now set the precedent of this is the punishment for Everton for what they did.
Yeah, that'll do.
Man City, if the Premier League have any integrity,
I'm sure you do.
It's very unlikely actually. But if the Premier League and the FA have any integrity, Man City are screwed. We could potentially see a situation where Man City have a Rangers situation put on them, where they're demoted to the bottom tier of English football, and they've got to work
that was such a sad day for me with Rangers. Sorry, next.
And the thing is, do you think the owners will stick with that? If that was the case, knowing that they can't appeal it, would the owners stick around? Because they wouldn't be able to spend the money on big players either. Because again, financial restrictions and all that, they can't spend the money to get themselves straight back up. So.
And very honourable Mr. Pep saying, any impropriety, I can't say the word.
If we're found guilty on one,
of course he's going to go. He ain't going to blimmin' stay, is he? He'll be off out back to Spain like nobody's business.
No, but I know obviously she's from Glasgow. She's Rangers is her team in Glasgow and all that.
Oh, good girl, Kim.
But my point was, because of the president now being set, and what Man City are now being accused of and charged for as we speak, we could actually see a situation where Man City could be demoted to the bottom tier of English football and put on a transfer ban and this, that, and the other, and they basically won't have the facilities either way, a ban or not, where they won't be able to bring in the big, they won't be able to spend their way up the league, and actually have to use their academy to get themselves out of trouble.
We live in hope.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's got to happen soon, surely. Now the Everton situation's dealt with, but the new focus will be on Man City because that was the second out of the three, and Chelsea's the most recent one. So technically, you're going to go in order. Man City's next, but Premier League have set themselves up now. So how they deal with it.
I know.
Aye,
Sorry, really bad
aye, I
Scottish accent. It's in my ancestry. Ricky,
Anyway.
where are you, darling? Are you on a bus or?
No,
Yes.
I'm walking back to mine.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's just the traffic then.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right, anyway. Oh, dear.
Right, guys, I think we've been on for 2 hours now. Wow. And thank you for everybody's coming to the chat. Thanks for that. Thank you. Do appreciate that.
Oh, dear. So, yeah, Thursday's going to be sort of, as you say, watch alongside podcast for the girls. Got to get the cash for the girls.
Well, let's hope the girls are so thrilling that we won't actually have time to talk about any. But if they're not so thrilling,
yeah, celebrating podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that totally.
Brian, I will come on and watch along as well.
Yeah, as long as you're not at the game, because as I say, you're at the game.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Don't
that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say the other day in the group chat. That literally Premier League and the league in WSL and all that, FA are so strict, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, God, I've got I've turned that down.
Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. It's gonna be, as I say, Thursday's gonna be like normal situation in terms of it's gonna be all of us coming on for when we can, obviously, for the game and all that. But go run it like a watch along / podcast, so you can still record it and put it up on the audio and the Spotify and all that.
Yeah.
And do our usual sort of show, but with a game on at the same time, sort of thing, at an earlier time as well. But yeah, no match of the day tonight because of international fucking football. I hate international football. I hate it. Boy, I hate it. Especially when you've got to go to Southgate as your manager. That's the main reason. Last night proved my point.
Oh, it's so boring, isn't it?
I can't wait till the 1st of December.
Oh, what, for the girlies?
Yay!
To be honest,
I'll be at my first Lionesses. Yeah, I'll be at my first Lionesses game.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that'd be a good thing to talk about afterwards. That will be actually. That'd be cool.
Just to be clear, international men's football, boring as fuck. The England women's team, I can get behind.
Yeah, I know.
They're decent.
Yeah, well, to be honest, it's very new for me, the Lionesses.
Yeah, they're decent.
Yeah, I can get that totally because they actually do something. And they've got a fantastic manager. And also, it goes back to, on a final note, Ms. Hayes. What a gracious loser Serena is. Very gracious.
I can't wait until the Lionesses beat her team.
Well, if we can keep hold of Serena, time we will tell on that one. But actually,
that would be good.
Yeah, but we shall see.
You go and see because it's now been confirmed officially. This is going then as of May. The English FA and obviously US and all that, they'll be breaking their necks to organise a friendly fixture ASAP. Emma Hayes.
Yeah, probably actually. Yeah.
They'll break their necks to get it at Wembley and all that, and try and get the sellout and all that jazz. And I say,
I think we're going to have. Did you know what? Wherever we come as Arsenal women in the league, and I'm going to say second will do us really well. We ain't going to beat them unless there's some miracle. which is the
You never
obvious.
know.
I won't say it. But I think we should have a celebration that the blasted woman's going. I want us to win something.
I think again, Chelsea fans won't agree with this, but with her going, just in general,
it opens it all up again.
Yeah,
it
makes it'll look from next season. It'll make the league itself more competitive. It won't make it so one-sided, like we've seen today.
Thank you, Mr. Tommy.
Yeah, I think it'll be
Tom's
more
got a show later on tonight. What's Tom's show tonight? What's it called?
He's wrestling on his wrestling channel. The Full Nelson podcast at midnight.
Oh, that's it. I keep seeing this come up. Right, one day I'll do it.
I will tune into that one then, because I like wrestling.
I'm already subscribed to his Leeds one.
Yeah, I'll get the link from Tom as well.
We must go on his own thing podcast next week. So if Tom's listening to this, we should all go on his podcast next Friday because Leeds are playing Plymouth. It's the TV match next Friday.
Oh, there you go. So, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah,
Tom,
Friday's
if you want any experts on Plymouth, feel free to ask in and come on your podcast next week.
What's Mr. Tommy saying? I'm even keeping it a secret from the rest of the guys. Only me and Russ know the people. Okay.
Oh, basically, what they're doing on the show tonight, he's not telling no one. He's going to keep a complete surprise to everyone, all the viewers, and apart from them two. Only them two that have organised it know.
Surprise.
I'm trying to think
interesting.
Now.
Someone wins the title.
I was saying about the WSL. I think Emma Hayes going makes the league a so much more competitive league going forward.
Yes.
No matter who they get, because no matter who they get in to replace her in the summer, they're not going to be able to repeat and maintain their standards because they're going to put their own stamp on things and change this, that, and the other. You've got probably potential Sam Kerr leaving because obviously her contract's up.
Plus, also her partner lives not in this country, and she's of the age, whatever. Yeah.
So there's a transitional period for this club as well. And from what we've seen from the men's side of things, in terms of transitioning from the old ownership to this, could be very interesting going forward. Life after Emma Hayes with Chelsea to the Chelsea women's team could be very interesting. And I'm all here for it if it goes the way of the men. That's all I'm saying. Because I say it gives us more. It opens up the league a bit more. It's not so repetitive of the same team winning it year in, year out, and all that malarkey. Or they just turn
just like Man City, when the men are doing at the moment.
Yeah. And again, it's not a bad thing either because it's good for the women's. It'd be good for the women's game in general to have a competitive league. So
it's so small, isn't it? I mean,
it's a 12-team league as it is. But when you've got the same, as I say, we've got them since we last won it in 2019. Chelsea have won it every year since then, and when you've got the same team winning it it's hard to then bring in when women's football's at its peak, getting the popularity now it needs to get people interested, to get people pulled in and interested.
We're being quite hypocritical here because from the time I come into the Arsenal and I just naturally thought I'm a woman, and it was by a bit of pure luck. Nobody told me. Back in the day, I was just listening in to Arsenal Women's, and suddenly I realised, I thought, wow, they win every. I thought this is a bit, but I actually enjoyed it back then. But I suppose we started it all off, didn't we? Really, that's the problem.
Maybe so, but obviously, I think in the professional era of women's football. When you've got the new generation coming through, you want to get them engaged in the league itself, and it's.
But in all seriousness, it should be much more open, and also by making it more open, hopefully, and actually that's something we can touch on another time of what Jonas has said about pay structure, because it's not just this small pocket of the WSL;
No.
It goes down to whatever they call it. What is the women's one, second one down?
Championship.
Call it. Do they call it championship?
Yeah, they call it championship as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay, it needs to be opened up a lot more for the women's game in general.
Yeah.
No,
But anyway, I'll let you wrap up now because, as I say, over 2 hours we've been going.
Yeah, we've done 2 hours. Yeah, wow. And once again, big thank you to everybody who's come along. Truly appreciate that. Cheers, guys. And we'll see you Thursday, or if not, maybe Monday, if Ryan and Liam are going to do another watch along. If you do watch along, I'll come in on it this time. Just put it in our group WhatsApp and I'll come in.
I might need a few.
Ryan, before we go,
we all need to keep each other awake, probably. Yeah.
A few copies and all that. Yeah.
Also,
but yeah, sorry,
anyway,
you're saying,
before we go,
sorry.
Just congratulations on the show on the Bristol City Arsenal game. You got under 2,000 views. If you wasn't sure, if you didn't look properly, you got just under 2,000 views on that one. So that's that's the most that people watch your watch along on that day.
Oh wow!
The Bristol City Arsenal
game.
Thank you,
BX. Yeah.
I think I was there.
Was it the Conti Cup, wasn't it? The Conti Cup game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that it did anything. Okay, cool. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I was there at Meadow Park. It was amazing.
Oh.
Well, the second half was amazing.
The second half was better, yeah.
Although I've got to say, Ryan, the first half was entertaining with you, my love. But
don't.
But I was actually quite concerned for you. We both were.
Oh, Leicester, don't. I don't want to. I don't want to repeat. I don't think it'd be good for my health.
You don't want PTSD of that one. No, I get that totally. Me and Emerson were just like, oh dear, that's embarrassing. We were very calm about it all. I think we had no words basically.
I just sat here last Sunday. Sunday, wasn't it? Sunday evening, last Sunday evening for the Leicester game. And I was sitting there and I'm thinking, how's this happening? We're 2-0. What's going on? And I've got some guy called Andrew going in, or you're a grown ass man, behave yourself. I'm like, my team's fucking losing. Calm down. I'm an Arsenal fan. My team's losing 2-0 and they shouldn't be losing. I've got commercial fireworks going off over my house, left, right, and centre.
It was Diwali.
The streets are full of gunpowder smoke left, right, and centre. Got dogs downstairs that need to calming down with their gel stuff and all that. But I'm gonna be, yeah, go on, come on, energy, woo, yeah. Like 2-0 down, like come on. But then obviously the girls did turn it around in the second half and make it up. And it could have been 6-2 was flattering to Leicester in the end, because it could have been, if we hadn't hit the post and crossbar a few times, it could have been like 10-11.
Well, yeah.
I did feel so bad for Birthday that second half. Comes on, hits the post, had a shot straight to goalkeeper. She had her chances as well. Too early.
You know it's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point, and her tenacity is back. Well, her legs are working again now, or her knee, I should say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's too early for Christmas hats.
Oh my god!
It's an Arsenal one.
Oh yeah, that's all right. Oh, that's cool. It's an Arsenal one. That's fine. Now I put my tree up. I never put my tree up there.
All jokes aside, I've got to get all that out this week as well. Out the garage and get that all set up downstairs at some point. Yeah. But yeah.
No, anyway, guys, right, I've really got to shoot now because I'm going out.
If the girls team come across this at any point, please, I do not want to repeat. I don't want to repeat of last.
No. We want a nice even-keeled match.
Yeah, nice, comfortable, relaxing.
Yeah.
Think second half against Leicester, but for 90 minutes, please, for once. That'd be fantastic.
Well, yeah, and I'll take a few less goals if it's just, I know what you're saying.
But you know what I mean, performance-wise, I'm more concerned for.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
anyway, thank you so much, my loves. Cheers. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Bye. See you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.